It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shot.
¿Qué onda, vatos locos? It's your boy Dave from the 408 coming to you all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas for another edition of the Shoe Shine. Joining me all the way from the city of brotherly love is my co-host. And it's a birthday week for two Libras, Philly Irish Drew Evo. ¿Qué pasa, homie? You ready for your birthday?
Just another day.
Just another day. And you know what? My birthday's tomorrow, and I'm actually going to work, Drew, but I am going to be looking forward to the end of the week because I can't wait to go back to Las Vegas. Saludos to everybody joining us in the room. Hey, shout out to Chauncey Pearls, my homeboy from the Bay Area. We got Dan619. What up, man? I'm going to probably see you this Friday, man. Nice to see Chicano Prophet. It's been a minute, guys. I know it's been a minute. It's like we haven't been around consistently, and partially, it's not partially. It's 100% my fault. It has nothing to do with Drew Evo. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life. And, you know, it used to be like I would just look forward to boxing every single weekend and coming here on Monday and talking with you guys about the sport of boxing, the sweet science. But lately, I got so much BS going on in my personal life that is hard. And it's also been hard because, hey, boxing hasn't been that good to us, Drew. I mean, shit, this weekend I was all excited to see the two sons, the UK sons, Conor Ben and Eubanks go at it. I even watched both original fights, Eubanks versus Ben, the fathers, Drew. Very entertaining, the first one. I was all excited. And then what happens, dude? It turns out Conor Ben, who I've been praising on the Shoe Shine for about 2 years now as one of the future possible world champions at welterweight, Drew, is nothing more than a drug cheat. All right, guys, the phone line is open. If you are pissed off like we are, if you were pissed off this weekend about this fight being canceled because Conor Ben busted for banned substances, give us a shout, give us a call if you'd like. The phone line is open. Drew, your takeaway from the news, bro, that, I mean, the British people have their own drug testing, right? I don't even know what the board name is. But apparently it's not the same as VADA. Mostly the WBC and everybody in the US follows the VADA protocol. And this drug is 100% a testosterone booster, Drew. I know all about it because I just turned, I ain't gonna tell you how I turned. I'm over 40, guys, and I just had a testosterone panel test done. And luckily your boy doesn't need to be on TRT, but I found out a lot about TRT and about companies that are advertising the guys in their 40s and 50s, like some of us that might be or approaching it soon, that might want to get on TRT. Drew, there's companies readily in here in the US that will mail you the drug Conor Ben was on. What is your takeaway?
Well, a lot of questions now with all his other fights that he's knocked out opponents. And other thing about it is that the thing that really pisses me off that Eddie Hearn tried to still try to have this fight, even though his fighter failed a drug test, that it was like way above the testosterone level of a man, and not even be trying to protect the other fighter from this, because God forbid they would have fought. and Chris Eubanks would get brutally KO'd by Conor Benn, and they knew he was on the juice, this would be a real bad thing for boxing. It will probably put boxing even in a worse place than it's in now, and it'll all be because of Eddie Hearn doing everything he can to make this fight happen and not to blow all this money away promoting the fight, press conference promoting the fight, running the O2 Arena. Possibly he's going to have to refund people the money now. And why are we even attempting to reschedule this fight? End of the day, Conor Benn's career is already in question as it is. Nobody's really going to take Conor Benn seriously. Conor Benn as a star, not even close ever again. And Eddie Hearn was saying a couple of weeks ago that VADA is the gold standard of drug testing. Mm-hmm. But when VADA was the one that discovered the foundings of Conor Benn, he said, "Oh, VADA's irrelevant." Eddie, which one is it? Like, you can't go back on your words now, man. You're just making yourself look like a bigger ass than you are already. Yeah,
make no mistake. Eddie Hearn deserved the criticism he got this week from American promoters, Drew.
And the thing about it is, nobody really, and here's the thing, when he fought Van Hansen or whatever his name is,
Van Heerden,
he was really, there was a report that the WBC removed Conor Benn from the rankings because he did not want to be involved in VADA. And then the thing about it is, this is what Van Hansen brought up on his Twitter. But here's the thing. Don't want to show this through sympathy because, hey, anybody is to blame for this is your team for not finding this out earlier and everything. They did not do their due diligence to protect your interests. So if anybody is to blame for that, it's your team, not Van Hansen or whatever your name is. Not, you should have never, because if your team would have found this out, they would have put you out. Yeah. They might have put you out. And the thing about it is, our jury's questioning this now and everything. He said in an interview that people have told him that they have rumors that Conor Benn is juicing, and he said, "Hey, I fought guys that are juicing and beat guys that are juicing and everything." It doesn't matter if you accuse the guy of juicing, have him drug tested before this fight, and everything.
Well, Chris Van Heerden probably needed the money. I saw Chris Algieri the very day after, I think this Friday. Chris Algieri, one of the most recent knockout victims, former world champion, Chris Algieri, former world kickboxing champion, former world champion, guy who fought Manny Pacquiao. He said that he had heard, but he had no way to validate that. He had heard that Conor Benn was on the juice, but he took the fight anyway, saying, "I think as a natural athlete, I can beat this guy." And that went horrendously wrong, not only for Chris Van Heerden, but also Chris Algieri, a former world champion, Drew. And I was singing praises for Conor Benn all along this line, going, but what more do you want from this welterweight contender? He's knocking out former world champions. He's fighting competition equally the resume of Virgil Ortiz, the zone fighter. I mean, I was putting these two guys as possible future world contenders. Now, Virgil Ortiz hasn't popped, but now we know for sure. And this is what I was going to say, Drew. I've got this here for you guys. But this is just one of the websites. It's a medical company that men with a prescription from this company, you can do all the examinations. It says not testosterone replacement, it's testosterone restoration. It's not TRT, it's a SERMs, okay? Now people are saying, oh, it's a female drug. It is a female drug, but off-label, it's used as a male fertility drug. Because what it does is it gives guys who maybe don't have good enough sperm count, it forces your testicles into overdrive, right? And clomiphene, the pure Clomid, okay? It's actually just a part of Clomid, the best part of it. And what it actually does is, according to this website, because like I said, you can get on this stuff prescription over the internet. Meaningful results, guys see results anywhere from 1.5% to 2.5%. It's an increase in 1.5 to 2.5%. Drew, if Conor Benn, who's already an elite athlete, has got a testosterone count of 900 or something, there's like an elite athlete in their 20s going to have a tremendous TRT count. This guy could be walking around with like a 1,500 testosterone score, an absolute beast. And yes, he deserves all the criticism, Drew. This guy could kill somebody in the ring. I mean, it's just not fair. The level playing field is not there. It's dangerous. It's the most dangerous combat sports next to mixed martial arts. And there should be no leeway for cheats like this. Zero tolerance. So, Drew, 4-year suspension, you think it's going to happen?
Possibly. Eddie Hearn has not had the best second half of the year so far, if you look at it. Conor Benn tested positive. One of his that championship with Laura and Woods? That fight fell apart. A lot of things fell apart for Eddie Hearn this second half. So, 4 years, yes, he should be suspended for at least a couple years.
Well, we know, you guys remember Julio Chavez Jr. He got a year's suspension from the Nevada State Athletic Commission over weed. And, I just mentioned I'm going to Vegas this weekend, and Vegas is suddenly now a tourist destination for enjoying recreational marijuana. Just 5 years ago, even mixed martial arts artists were getting banned or getting suspensions, lengthy suspensions for marijuana. Not a performance-enhancing drug, Drew, and yet, in the U.S., he got busted for a whole year off of weed. Dan619 says, don't forget to subscribe to the Shoe Shine, man. Dan619, I appreciate you so much, guys. Drew and I are just over the 400 mark. And I'm going to a YouTube convention this week for YouTubers and content creators, and I really would like to bump it up if possible. Let somebody that watches boxing content, let them know about the Shoe Shine and maybe give us a subscription. And if they don't like it, they can get their money back because it's free. All right, Drew. Appreciate you, Dan619. Drew, this weekend we had Showtime. Let's talk about Fundora. Let's talk about the towering inferno that, he says he's ready to be a contender against Charlo, Drew. I think he looked like trash this weekend against Ocampa, a guy who's not necessarily a journeyman, but of course nobody's ever heard of Ocampa. And Drew, I don't understand, guys, if I'm being too hard on the young Fundora, the towering inferno, freak of nature to be fighting at 154 pounds, 6'5", 7", whatever he is, the towering inferno. This guy Ocampa was running on fumes, Drew, and yet Ocampa was able to fight in the phone booth against this humongous beast of a guy in Fundora and make it all 12 rounds, Drew. I can only think of one guy that fought that had this kind of size advantage over people, and that was Paul Williams. Until Paul Williams fought Sergio Maravilla Martinez and got viciously knocked out. So I have to ask you guys, am I tripping? But, Fundora recently got dropped by Eric Lubin in his last fight. So, Drew, I got to ask you in the chat, man, but is Fundora going to get dropped at 154 pounds, or if not, the very next weight class, 160?
If you look at it, Paul Williams and Fundora have one thing in common. They fight small.
Right. Why does he choose to fight small?
And the thing about it is, that's what got Paul Williams knocked out. He leaves his chin. He left his chin open. Fundora does the same thing. They both share the same weaknesses, and I don't understand why his trainer does not push him. Hey, I think I need you to fight more like a big guy and everything. Keep him on the outside. Keep him in your range and everything. Don't fight to his height.
Yeah, when it's working, it's very effective, and it's impressive how he has such a long wingspan and yet still generate torque fighting on the inside in that phone booth. But Drew, is like this guy was hanging on a thread. I mean, this guy was there to be knocked out, and yet it just seems like he only has one dimension, and that's to fight, enjoy fighting in a phone booth. in a classic Mexican style battle when all he had to do was take a step back and find his range and knock this guy out. I don't understand why he has such incredible lengthy arms and he can't touch somebody from the end of his punches. I would like to think he'd give Charlo a butt whooping, but man, I don't think any way he would have finished Charlo or even come out victorious on Saturday night. And I even favor a fellow prospect contender at PBC that we've interviewed, Jesus Ramos Jr., the southpaw. I think he could have been clever enough to have caught Fundora from the outside. It's like Fundora doesn't like to be. But, if you guys want to argue against me that Fundora is going to be a future world champion, Sontea Mira, shout out to you. Give us a call if you'd like, or let me know what we're not seeing. But I have to be honest, man, I was not impressed with Fundora. I think he takes a step back, and I'd like to see what the other contenders at 154 are going to do, Drew.
But I can't see him being champion at 154. Like, if you look at it, the best fighters in his division over at the PBC, and you will wonder, why is he not being booked to fight these guys? And like why is it? And then people will look at it like, what else can we do? But here's the thing: he's not going to beat Acharo. He might beat Castaño unless he gets caught. But I just don't see him being a big threat at 154 because he fights small and he leaves his chin out. And if you're going to plan to fight in the phone booth, it's a 50-50 fight. You're not going to, it's 50% of the time, you may not win a phone booth fight unless if they were to judge his cards, which, hey, it's a coin toss on that one too.
Hey, we got a question from our homeboy Chicano Prophet. He says, thoughts on Jack Reese? Of course, Jack Reese, if you didn't watch the fight, Jack Reese, a very famous referee, walked over to the corner and basically gave his opinion that he didn't think Ocampa was doing enough. I mean, it's often you hear there's a distinction, okay? You need to show me something because you look like you're hurt. I'm going to call the fight off. But it was basically saying, he was almost saying, hey, your punches got nothing left on them. Yes, I see you're fighting back, but they've got nothing on it. So I'm going to stop the fight because your punches look like they're doing nothing, which is more of an opinion thing. And I think that Jack Reese was in the wrong for offering his opinion. If he had called over the doctor and the doctor says, I don't like, this guy looks like he's concussed, walking around concussed, punch drunk, then I think there's good reason to stop the fight. But we saw that Ocampa managed to get it together, even have success after Jack Reese warned him, have some success, maybe even win a round or two. So yeah, I think Jack Reese was being egregious. I Am Dwayne this time says, man, that ref stinks. I think he's been getting too involved lately. Drew, your thoughts on Jack Reese interjecting himself?
You can't stop a fight because if you, in your opinion, thinking that the punches have no effect. The only way it's justified to stop a fight if the fighter is hurt and is no longer able to protect himself from fight, or he's taking too much punishment. But you to say that that his punches have no effect, it's not yours. It's not you to decide that. If he can go. Paulie can go and fight somebody all night, knowing he's pillow fisted. He has no power, but as long as he lands, it's a point that he's scoring. So he cannot hurt the guy all night, but still land punches and hasn't even hurt to do it all, and still win a fucking fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to move on to this. I just want to say hello to Barbara Castillo. Thank you for joining the Shoe Shine. Drew, let's move on because this weekend, while I'm in Las Vegas, I'm going to have to do double duty with the phones and whatever the mobile device I got because PBC is doing a pay-per-view. I have an everything pay-per-view now. Then we got ESPN putting on a doubleheader. So it's a total of 3 different cards, and I'm really excited. A lot of people were excited about the return of former American heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder fighting his former sparring partner in Helenius. Well, I think Helenius is a pretty damn tough. He's a tough road warrior, right, Drew? I mean, this is a guy. Helenius is no easy work. I mean, otherwise Deontay wouldn't have picked him as his former sparring partner. But do they know each other too well, Drew? Deontay Wilder hasn't won a meaningful fight in years. Of course, he had an epic trilogy with Tyson Fury, the absolute king of the heavyweight division, in my opinion. And maybe we could argue later about Usyk being the new king. He does have more belts, Drew. Is he on his way back to the win column against Helenius this weekend in a pay-per-view that's also going to feature the return of Caleb Plant, who we last saw against Canelo Alvarez, he's not washed up, man. Anthony Durrell is not washed up, man. I think this is a pick'ems fight. And let's see if we can go 4 for 4 like the Philadelphia Eagles did, Drew. Can you go 4 for 4 this week in your prediction? I'll just do 4 fights this weekend. We're going to go with Deontay Wilder versus Helenius. Does Helenius have anything in there to hurt Deontay? Deontay's now tasted the canvas multiple times. His punch resistance can't be the same, Drew. Can Helenius get a lucky shot as a heavyweight in there?
Well, when it comes to heavyweight boxing, there is a lucky shot. Helenius is a former, when he was up during the Klitschko era, he was destined to be the next heavyweight champion and everything. And then that all fall apart when he got a gifted decision against Chisora in Helsinki, Finland, and everything. But he bounced back. He lost 2 fights, bounced back, beat Adam Kanaki twice, stopped him. One, you could say it was disqualification, but I thought he stopped him both times. He was done. But I think Helenius is a live dog in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he lands the one punch that can hurt Deontay Wilder, he may be heading towards a stop his victory for Helenius. But if I'm on a pro Wilder channel, I'll be saying, he's tapping and everything. But Helenius is a live dog. He nails him with the right punch. Wilder's hurt. And it might be a knockout victory for Helenius. But I really think Deontay Wilder knocks out Helenius in the 6th round. But I really do not want to see a Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder fight because the dude won all 3 fights. He knocked him out twice. We don't need to see this fight again. He's not beating Fury on his best day.
Well, that's a great segue, Drew, because Tyson Fury has managed to inject himself into the conversation with news of his own that he will be fighting that. Okay, while we've been inactive on the Shoe Shine, we haven't been here every single Monday, but for a moment, he was going to fight Anthony Joshua. It was all but certain that the 2 biggest names in heavyweight boxing in the UK were going to have a humongous fight. And it all fell apart, Drew. It fell apart that quickly. And now we're talking about Derek Chisora, the ultimate road dog that I enjoy watching. We talked about it on the Shoe Shine. Should Derek Chisora hang him up, or does he have one great fight in him? And Tyson Fury would like to tangle with him. Drew, if Deontay Wilder wins this, he's a mandatory. And you're absolutely right that we could be seeing Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 4. As much as most people don't want to see it, it might be something Tyson Fury is willing to entertain. Not just 3 fights, a trilogy where I thought it was done, but could we see 4 fights like Marquez and Manny Pacquiao? A 4th fight?
I think before that fight you just talked about, I think the winner of this fight will fight Andy Ruiz.
All right, JC's in the room. Hey, JC, I appreciate you. He says Helenius is ready to take the dive. This fight is a fix. So let me give my prediction. Drew's shaking his head. Deontay Wilder is going to stop Helenius, but this fight could be exciting because I don't know. While I don't necessarily subscribe that Helenius is going to take the dive, I do think Helenius might actually hurt Deontay Wilder. He absolutely has enough pop, and I think that code's been broken that Deontay Wilder, it's entirely possible to hurt him and finish him and knock him out. But as the story goes, it's a predetermined script. Deontay Wilder would win. He's going to win, and it could possibly set up another showdown with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury doesn't seem to want to fight Anthony Joshua. And I don't blame him, dude, because Anthony Joshua doesn't deserve that fight anymore. How do you give him a fight when he's coming off all these losses? Anthony Joshua he's not the guy that we thought he was anymore. It's been proven with his second loss to Usyk. Hey, we're going to get the people rematching, man, with the same results, because Usyk versus Joshua, the rematch, did it play out any different? And this weekend, we're going to find out. We're going to find out if Devin Haney versus George Kambosos, who was undisputed for just one fight, down under in his own home territory in Australia, while I'm in Las Vegas, they will be fighting. Actually, I don't know what time they're fighting, Drew, because that's the nighttime fight. That's going on at 7 p.m. Pacific time on ESPN. The rematch should be televised to anyone who wants to watch it. I got to find somewhere to watch it with a TV, where I'm going to be on my phone while I'm trying to socialize. But before we get to that fight, Drew, Caleb Plant, and I'm not going to score this one, but I'm not going to hold this one against you, because Caleb Plant versus Anthony Durrell is a pick'ems fight to me. I don't think Anthony Durrell is that washed up, man. I think this is going the distance. And don't hold this against me, but I think Anthony Durrell can pull this one off.
Dave, we're going to have a virtual sit-down about this later on in private. Talk about this and everything, some business about this.
168.
But I'm going to look at it like this. This isn't a pick'em fight. I really think Caleb Plant outboxes him and cruises to a decision. I just don't think Anthony Durrell really is going to be able to keep up with Caleb Plant for 12 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think Caleb Plant is arguably possibly the second best fighter in the super middleweight division.
Excuse me? Caleb Plant.
He's arguably the second best fighter in that division.
Okay, so it's not Gennady Golovkin, and I'm only kidding, guys.
Well, let's not entertain that, because, you got the Mexicans for Triple G organization might praise you on that one, man. And you might have to say, yo, I'm just chilling, man. I'm just playing. Chill out, man.
I was just joking. By the way, JC says Durrell's going to stop Caleb, so he's in my camp. Again, we're not going to score this one. We're trying to go for 4 for 4. Will Drew be 4 for 4 like the Philadelphia Eagles were as of the week prior? We're going to find out. Now, I'm not holding this one against you, but I think Caleb Plant comes up on the losing end, and Anthony Durrell can chase his big dreams of a Canelo fight like the rest of the stable at PBC. Hello to everyone just joining the room. Marianne Brown, Annalise Jaramillo, saludos to Barbara Castillo, and JC, of course. All right, Drew, PBC, I don't know how you guys want to watch it, if you're going to spend the money to watch it, but I think it should be an entertaining card. And that leaves us with the rest of the evening and afternoon, because in the daytime, the women are going to give their opportunity to show what the women are, and that includes Clarissa Shields, self-described greatest woman of all time boxer, versus the only person who's ever beat her, and that is Savannah Marshall. Drew, she's pissed off like crazy. She's calling it a fluke. It was nothing but a fluke. She said, I won the Olympics twice and went on to win a world championship early in my career. And what have you done? Nothing but knock out bums, as she describes them, women with records like 4-25. Savannah Marshall, the taller, stronger opponent, or no?
This is ladies' night. Okay, let me get serious. Clarissa Shields is a hypocrite, because most of the women that's on Savannah Marshall's resume are women Clarissa Shields went the distance with, and Savannah Marshall knocked them out. So she's a hypocrite for that. And number two, didn't she go undisputed in 2 weight classes with division that only had like 17 different women in it, and half of them records were under 500?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it recently on the last roundtable I was on with D-Style. Shout out to all those guys. We talked about the lack of depth as the women's weight classes go up. And it seemed to be the consensus was, we're not ragging on it, but there just isn't as elite competition at the upper levels of weight classes in women's boxing, which makes it possible for like Terry Harper, who Alycia Bumgardner just knocked out to become champion, the WBC champion. She knocks out Terry Harper. Terry Harper manages to move up 2 weight classes and become champion immediately. She jumps 2 weight, and looked impressive. Why? Maybe she looked impressive because the woman who was holding that title was just really not a great champion. So, and that leads us to this other fight. And I'm going to get your pick, Drew. Clarissa Shields versus Savannah Marshall. Does she avenge her loss this weekend?
Hell no. Clarissa Shields gets knocked out.
Wow. Y'all heard that? Record that because it's going to be up here forever, guys. It's good. You don't need to record it. But listen, I'm shocked by that, Drew. I thought Clarissa Shields wins this one. But I'll be looking forward to watching this now because you think Savannah Marshall has enough power to stop her. And this is
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about that. Where's this fight at? The UK, right?
Mm-hmm.
She is not winning a fucking decision in the UK. She's going to have to take risk in this fight. And she's going to walk into something.
Yeah, she totally can. And, maybe she'll stop toying around with that MMA career. But I think it's a great fight. My only concern, what I'm actually upset about, Drew, is, I've had a chance to interview Mikeala Mayer briefly, which I'm really, really looking forward to the Mikeala Mayer fight versus Alycia Bumgardner because they've had a very exciting lead up in social media, using social media. And I think that they could have been headlining their own card. And a matter of fact, I think they could have been headlining it in Las Vegas or somewhere domestically. And instead, it's kind of a wasted opportunity to see these 2 great American champions fighting abroad in the middle of the day when it really could have been a headlining event, say at Cosmopolitan Las Vegas or maybe at the Virgin or somewhere on the West Coast. Just a wasted opportunity. So, that being said, a unification between Mikeala Mayer, Alycia Bumgardner, and I need to know who is going to win this fight, Drew. Who is it going to be? Mikeala Mayer versus Alycia. Who wins and who steals Drew's heart?
Bumgardner by knockout.
Alycia Bumgardner by knockout. He says Alycia Bumgardner by knockout. Not that she's a knockout, but by knockout stops Mikeala Mayer. Here we're going to disagree again, Drew. I got to disagree with you. Mikeala, yes, I was impressed with the knockout of Terry Harper. Why? Because it was a clinical right hand right to the temple. What was that? What? But let's not forget.
Call me. I'm single.
Oh, shit. And by the way, guys, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, it's Drew Evo's birthday week, and I would love to get him a new mic. So listen, if you want to contribute to the shoe shine and get better audio quality, we're having a little bit of audio quality today because Drew's just using his iPad, but it's good enough, man. If you'd like to help us get him a microphone or whatever, his Cash App is there at Drew Evo. But Drew, I'm going with Mikeala Mayer, and I'm going to tell you why, man, because I've seen enough to know that she has an excellent corner. A good friend of the show, Christine Lopez, shout out to her. She was just awarded Hall of Fame in Texas. She's worked extensively in the past with Mikeala Mayer on the Olympic team. Mikeala Mayer, when she fought Hamadouche in Las Vegas as the headliner, she showed me parts of her game. Hamadouche, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing it. But listen, she showed me an element to her game, all right, that I have not ever seen from Alycia Bumgardner. Now, Alycia Bumgardner is the more physical of the two. More physical. But again, there's different layers and levels to Mikeala's game, and she can make that adjustment, Drew. If she gets in trouble with Alicia's power this Saturday, if she gives her the opportunity to hurt her with her power, she's the shorter fighter, Mikeala's going to be able to make those adjustments with her corner and work from the outside. She gave Hamadouche an opportunity to fight her game plan, but in the end, she pulled it off convincingly and got better and better in each and every round. It's a wonder these two girls have never fought as amateurs, and we're going to see on Saturday which one of them is going to come out and reign out victorious as a unified champion. This is going to be a great fight. I really wish that this was headlining on its own. If you guys think it should be a headlining event, if you want, the phone line is still open, guys. let's see what the chat has to say about who they think wins. Does anybody say that Drew's opinion about Alycia, that she wins? Let me know. Throw it in the chat. No? Here we go. I got Shields and Alycia because Alycia is too athletic. She is very athletic, an impressive athlete. But Mikeala Mayer, I think she's going to pull this one out. Nando says, I like the bad blood in the co-main events. Yeah, there's definitely some bad blood, especially in that co-main event. They've done a great deal of talking. That is the co-main event to watch of the weekend. But that leads us to the last fight. Devin Haney, undisputed 135-pound lightweight champion, left the zone, left Eddie Hearn, is a baller, out-of-control baller, has a beautiful 10,000 square foot in Las Vegas. By the way, did you guys see the rendering of Oscar De La Hoya's new home in Las Vegas? Drew, did you see that? Did you see that monstrosity that they claim he paid $14 million cash? Drew, I am in the real estate market right now. We are trying to sell our home and relocate possibly to Las Vegas. But I don't think I'm going to get that kind of scratch to buy a $14 million house on the hill. And some people on Twitter said, well, it might certainly not be Oscar De La Hoya's dream house. More likely, it's that girl Holly's dream house, and she's just using Oscar's money to buy it. If you guys agree, let me know on that one. Yeah. Devin Haney's got a good life, Drew. Undisputed. He said, I'll take that money at Top Rank, and if you want me to go back to Australia and prove my point again, I will go back there and give that Kambosos guy, like I agreed to, an opportunity to fight me again. But will anything be different, guys? Will anything be different at all this weekend versus Devin Haney? Will he get a lucky shot in on Devin Haney? Completely unsuccessful. We know he rocked Teofimo Lopez to become the world champion. He rocked him. Couldn't do anything against Devin Haney in his first fight. So, Drew, anything different?
Yeah, it's going to be the same fight. Guess inside is going to hold him again. It's a fucking waste of a fucking fight.
That's not the picture I was looking at. I was trying to put a picture. Waste of a fight. Shout out to Boxing Vitals. Thank you for joining the room. Boxing Vitals always has great content on Twitter, man. Make sure you guys following Boxing Vitals on YouTube and on Twitter. Chicano Prophet says, Oscar's girlfriend scares me. She got her face tightened again. It just creeps me out. Is it too tight for you, Chicano? Oh, man, no. Her face is too tight. Drew says no.
I had a comment for that, but I'm going to keep it to myself. But, like, I'll be honest with you. It's a waste of a fucking fight.
But I think I might
have a couple shots and just go away for the time being, for the fight and everything. But here's the thing. I mean, I forgot to mention this. Anthony Joshua's in talks to fight Chris Arreola.
Wow.
So, to be honest, what a fucking waste of a fucking pick of a fighter to pick.
Marion Brown says, yeah, bro, it's a trash fight. With Devin Haney being the undisputed lightweight champ, I have to give him credit for keeping up to his obligation. He took this Top Rank exclusive contract, but it's ringing now that Shakur Stevenson is now at 135 pounds. He's the elephant in the room. How long before we see Bob Arum's favorite fighters in Lomachenko and Shakur Stevenson get a crack at Devin Haney? All right, because I think that's the only reason why they signed Devin Haney is to throw either Shakur or Lomachenko eventually. Drew, which one of these two guys gets to Devin Haney at 135 pounds? Or is Devin Haney just going to simply vacate after this fight, say, sorry, Bob, I just can't make 135 anymore. I'm joining Teofimo at 140 and the rest of the gang.
Well, there's three possible fights he can make after with Devin Haney. He can make the Lomachenko fight, he can make the Shakur Stevenson fight, or if he moves up to 140, he can make the Teofimo fight. He's going to have to wind up fighting one of these. He doesn't fight one of those three guys, and it's a waste of a fucking signing.
And you know what? Notice that this week, every time that Devin Haney seems to fight, he is the undisputed world champion. We get to be hearing a lot of gossip around the potential fight of Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. Why is that, Drew? Is this Floyd Mayweather orchestrating this teasing that, it's on the verge. I'm on the verge of making it. Don't forget about these two superstars.
You know, if it gets announced, here's how it's going to go. They're going to announce the fight, and like maybe a month before the fight happens, somebody's going to pull out. They're going to say, he injured himself during camp, and this fight doesn't get made again. And, it's just a fucking waste of a fucking thing for boxing. And fucking, like, Floyd don't care about giving Tank big fights because he cares about his exhibition career. And Tank don't give a fuck about it because Tank's comfortable making that $1 million paycheck.
Boxing Vital says Devin moves up. He took the risk to be undisputed, but now it's money moves for him. And there's a lot of money moves to be made at 140 pounds. Speaking of Boxing Vitals, I saw that picture, homeboy, that you took with the promoter. I believe it was Boxing Vitals with Marv Nation. Marv Nation is a small Los Angeles-based promoter, smaller club, almost club level fight promoter, Drew. And they won the bid for that world title fight that's going to happen between Regis Prograis and Zepeda at 140 pounds. And it's going to look like it's going to be a championship fight in Southern California. I'm excited for that fight. Very excited. So speaking of money, Drew, if Devin Haney moves up to 140, he could easily be chasing the winner of that fight. I mean, Undisputed Champ can move up and request that. We got a phone call. I hope the phone line is working. Appreciate that, man. Let's go with the Five and Dime. Five and Dime, you're on the Shoe Shine.
Nando.
What's up, Drew? What's up, Drew? What's up, Dave? How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Nice to have you back on the air. ¿Qué pasa?
Well, I know how to call in because just like Tank and Ryan almost got announced today, didn't it? Sounds like they were both about to do it.
That's what I'm saying. Every time Devin Haney, the true undisputed lightweight champion, I feel like they always come out with this teasing, and I feel like they've teased enough. Those two guys are just playing with the public the same way that, the Errol Spence fight versus Bud Crawford, they keep messing with the boxing public, man. I don't know. I'm kind of with Drew. I don't think this fight's getting announced. I think they're trying to steal the limelight from Devin Haney.
But what limelight, though? What limelight does Devin Haney have? He's fighting in Australia at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't think there is any limelight to be stolen. You know what I'm saying? It's a rematch nobody cares about.
It's a rematch I definitely don't care about. And you're right, because of the time zone. Yeah. Actually, here's the thing. I was reading that it's scheduled to be at 7 p.m., so I really don't know what time that is in Australia. These guys could be fighting in the morning.
It's like Sunday morning. I was like Sunday afternoon over there. I'll be like Sunday afternoon over there. Saturday night here, Sunday afternoon over there.
Nando, I'm so proud of you right now.
I'm proud of myself.
Fucking Nando's making sense for a change. I'm so fucking proud of him.
So it's making good sense. So, hey, Nando, of all these three fights, man, do you have one that you're looking most forward to? Because obviously you made your point. You're not interested in this Devin Haney rematch. But what about the other action this Saturday?
I think I'm going to skip the Fox PBC card. That's a tune-up fight on pay-per-view, and I'm not interested in either. It's two tune-up fights, man. The Caleb Plant fight's a tune-up, and the Deontay Wilder fight's a tune-up. So I'm not interested in paying $75 for either one of those,
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the ladies' fights this weekend. Yeah, I'm excited for the ladies' fights, man. I think there really is some bad blood between the ladies right now, and I'm looking forward to that card.
There you have it, man. Like Drew said earlier, this is ladies' night on Saturday night. And I'm going to see how it goes for us. It is Drew's birthday weekend. If any ladies want to hit up Drew Evo at Drew Evo on Instagram, or if you guys want to add me to your Instagram at Shoeshine Boxing, or give us a phone call and let us know how we're doing, how we can improve the show. Nando, so you're going to go with the ladies' fight. And what's your thoughts real quick on the possibility of Deontay Wilder fighting Tyson Fury again someday?
I wouldn't mind that fight, but maybe not in 2023. I like, there's so many good fighters, talented guys at heavyweights. I'd like to see them mix and match a little more. Mm-hmm. Maybe we could get like Juggernaut Joyce in the mix. We get Andy in the mix. There's a lot of good heavyweights we can mix and match, man. I don't necessarily want to see Wilder versus Fury right away again next year, no matter what, man. I've already seen it 3 times, and we kind of know what the result's going to be for number 4 anyways, right?
The
But hey,
consensus.
one last thing before I hang up, or you guys let me go. I got a spoiler for Drew, man. The Niners are gonna put the Eagles out of misery in the playoffs, man. Just so you know, it's gonna be Niners in the Super Bowl.
That's if they play them in the playoffs, Nando.
Oh, Nando, I appreciate the call.
You better hope they don't, Drew. Thank you. All right, bye.
All right, Nando. All right, later.
On the road to victory.
Oh man, Drew. By the way, this weekend I'm watching Garoppolo doing a fairly job, but I'm always hard on him, and you know.
But you know what?
What's that?
In the words of Nando, I spies an emotional Niners fan in Nando.
So hey, speaking of my the Niner faithful, shout out to the Niner faithful. Jimmy G's doing not such a bad job. I mean, picking up I'm grateful that they kept him. This is football, and at any moment, your star future quarterback, you could be relying on the guy you were trying to fire just months ago, right? So he's doing a good job. So I have to apologize to my wife for being so rough on him this weekend. He's getting the job done, Drew, and that will be exciting if we end up in the playoffs. That would be the first time for us doing the Shoeshine that they've been in the playoffs. What is that? Jimmy G spot, JC says. Yeah, Jimmy G not doing too bad, man. All right, Drew. Let's wrap up the show, man. It's been great getting back on the air with you. Birthday weekend. I'll be in Las Vegas. In fact, I'll be coming back Monday, really early in the morning, but I promise to come back on the air, guys, and follow up with the Shoeshine on Monday at 7:40 next Monday night with Drew, and hopefully I'll have some interesting news on my, debauchery in the city of Sin City, and hopefully Drew will give us some exciting updates on what happened on his birthday. Right, Drew?
Probably shit.
All right, man, give me your final thoughts this week. We had a cancellation. Conor Benn, who I thought might have been a world champion, gets exposed as a drug cheat. I don't know why we're going to wait for his B sample. A sample, B sample. He's a cheat. And I always like hearing what your thoughts are on the heavyweight division, because Nando says he'd like to see these guys mix it up more.
You know what? Fuck Conor Benn. Don't want to talk about him. He's a fucking cheat. Number 2, AJ should be fighting Zhang or fucking Horvath. 3 is ladies' night. And you know what, man? It's gonna be a good card on that ladies' card. Now, so don't really give a fuck about that Haney fight at the end of the fucking day. And for someone that told me that Triple G's the second best super middleweight, you're high as shit, and somebody would be able to give you your Mexicans for Triple G card. Just get in the mail. Just give them your address. They'll send you the card, and you can put it in your wallet, and you can just show it to everybody. Hey, I for Triple G.
The Drew's rant. All right, guys. Carlos Adames, I didn't bring him up at 160, but PBC having him knock out Montiel. And Montiel, Charlo couldn't knock that guy out. So it just goes to show, guys, how weak that division is, and how can Charlo fight more often, man? What a division, huh, Drew? I mean, Gennady Golovkin moves up to 168. Now he's still the reigning champ at 160, holding 2 belts. It's a division that's in total chaos right now. It's the shits right now, the 160-pound division. PBC trying to create a narrative this weekend with that Adames guy. Carlos Adames is not a world champion level fighter, and neither is Montiel. And somehow he managed to go 12 rounds with Charlo.
You know what? The PBC itself is a joke.
Damn.
Because how can you have your fighters fight once a year and expect to make a fucking profit?
All right, and my other thoughts is on this Conor Benn, Drew. I don't know if 4 years is too harsh a punishment. I've been debating it, man, but absolutely the guy merits a minimum of 1 to 2 years suspension, regardless of the B sample. The B sample is going to come back, but if they need the proof, get the B sample.
In the butt.
Get the sample right back. Interesting enough, Drew, the drug in that company I was talking about early on in the show, I think it's in pill form. So it's so easy. You can just order it on a pharmacy in the U.S. over the internet and pop the pill, and your testosterone will be 1.5 to 2.5% better, just in pill form. So, all right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for joining the Shoe Shine. Don't forget to follow us, subscribe, hit the notification so next Monday you know we're live, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.